Finally, the tournament we've waited all season for, the National Championship, a 20-team multi-day tournament that determines the best college frisbee team on the planet. But before we recap what happened, let's first give a proper introduction to every team that made the tournament this year.
Starting with number 20, Michigan Magna.
Reigning champs of the Great Lakes region.
Number 19, Ottawa GGs.
Supporting the only undefeated season at Nationals, and reigning champs of the Metro East.
Number 18, Washington University Contra.
Huck Finn champions and the third team from South Central.
Number 17, Oregon State Beavers.
Trouble in coverage champions and the second team from Northwest.
Number 16, Penn State Spank.
Queen City Tune-Up runner-up and the second team from Ohio Valley.
Number 15, UC Berkeley Ursa Major.
NorCal Conference champs and the second team from Southwest.
Number 14, NC State Alpha.
Carolina Kickoff runner-up and the second team from Atlantic Coast.
Number 13, Alabama Huntsville Nightmares.
Gulf Coast Conference champs and the second team from Southeast.
Number 12, Texas Cobb.
Centex co-champions and the second team from South Central.
Number 11, Carlton Cott.
Northwoods Conference champs and the second team from North Central.
Number 10, Minnesota Grey Ducks.
After winning the regional bid from Cut, the Grey Ducks find themselves ranked in the top 10. They've attended every major tournament this year and are familiar with everyone from the East Coast that's ranked in front of them. They could make a run if they make it to Championship Sunday.
Number 9, Vermont Chill.
Despite having 0 tournament wins this season, the Vermont Chill have faced almost every top team in the nation and have had close games with most of them. They clawed their way through the losers bracket at regionals to take the remaining nationals bid. This team knows how to get up when they're knocked down and shouldn't be overlooked if they make it to the Sunday bracket.
Number 8, Brownie in Motion.
Despite finishing third in their conference this year, Brown managed to win their region, continuing their 7-year streak of regional dominance. Even though they were ranked as the 8th seed, they have the momentum to do some damage at nationals.
Number 7, Oregon Ego.
Oregon have proven themselves as one of the best teams in the West. They've placed in the top 3 at every major West Coast tournament this year and beat SLO to become Northwest Challenge champs. They don't have experience against East Coast teams. Their abilities will be put to the test.
Number 6, Pitt and Salvador.
Pitt have been right on the cusp of winning a major tournament this year. They had a universe loss against Georgia at Smoky Mountain and fell to UMass in the semifinals at Easterns. If they catch fire at the right time, they could pull off a few upsets to win it all.
Number 5, Cal Poly Slowcore.
Slowcore started off the year hot with 21 straight wins before falling into a slump at Easterns. But they can bounce back. This is the strongest Slowcore has ever been, with playmakers like Calvin Brown, Seamus Robinson, and Dodger Middlebrook. They could be the team that brings the title back to the West Coast for the first time in over 20 years.
Number 4, Colorado Mama Bird.
Mama Bird are the highest ranked team without a regular season tournament win. However, they did place in the top 5 at every tournament they entered. There's no need to dwell on the past. They only need to win this tournament to be crowned national champions.
Number 3, UMass Zoodays.
UMass have a great chance of winning the title. They're the only team that has defeated number 2 Georgia and number 1 Darkside this year. They have experience by making it to the finals last year and have the talent to make it over the hump and win for the first time since 1986.
Number 2, Georgia.
In my opinion, Georgia are the heavy favorites for winning the national title. They've reached the finals for every tournament they entered this year and are currently on a 16-game winning streak. As long as Jacques Stephenson stays healthy and Aiden and Adam continue to dominate, Georgia might be looking at their first ever national title.
Number 1, North Carolina Darkside.
Darkside won their first 2 tournaments of the year, but failed to reach the finals at both Smoky Mountain and Easterns. However, they're the 1 seed for a reason. They always seem to turn it up at nationals, and this year will likely be no different. If they win, they'll be the first men's Division I team to 4-peat as national champions. With the expectations set, let's see what happened in pool play. In Pool A, Darkside looked strong, with their closest matchup being against Oregon State, which they won 15-13. Meanwhile, Brown was poised to take the second spot until the last game of pool play, where Oregon State managed to win on Universe, making it a 3-way tie for second. The tiebreaker is determined by point differential between the 3 tied teams. Brown secured second by 1 point. Texas settled for third, and Oregon State is out of championship contention in fourth. In Pool B, Georgia did well, going undefeated, and Oregon also did well, finishing with the same point differential. Finally, NC State upset Carleton on Universe to advance Championship Sunday. In Pool C, after Grey Ducks lost to Cal on Universe, they upset Pitt on Universe and beat UMass by a staggering 7 points. This gave them the first spot in the pool, leaving UMass in second, Pitt in third, and Cal in fourth. The winner of Pool D came down to the game between Slow and Colorado. With Slow Core down by 1, Calvin Brown finds Alex Nelson on the pole play, evening the score. But Colorado immediately answers, with a break shot by Dexter finding Levi in the end zone. Damn. Calvin connects with Alex again, tying again. Levi scores again, giving himself 3 goals and 2 assists in the game, and putting his team within 1 goal of winning. In order for Slow to pull off the upset, they must hold, and then break on Universe. Kyle Liu connects with Dodger. Slow upset Colorado. With this win, SLO will have a bye in the championship bracket, and Colorado will play Texas in pre-quarters. Michigan stole the third spot by upsetting Vermont and Penn State. And with that, we reach the most exciting day of the tournament. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. With pre-quarter games starting at 8 a.m., the weather in Madison was bad. Strong winds and heavy rainfall resulted in games with lots of turns and favored teams who were accustomed to the rainy climates. But that's no excuse. Every team had to play in these conditions. First was Colorado versus Texas, the second time these teams faced each other this year. The first being at the regional final, where Mama Bird won 15-9. Not much has changed, since Colorado also won this game 15-10. Brown defeated Michigan, and Pitt was in a battle with Oregon. Pitt is down 10-13. They've been playing from behind all game. If they let Oregon get to 14, they'll likely be out of this tournament. Peter scores his first goal of the game, bringing Pitt within 2. Aiden gets his second goal of the game. Pitt is now 1 goal away from tying and forcing Universe. Pitt comes out in zone, daring Ego to make a mistake. But Oregon stays chilly and forces Pitt to play man when they reach the end zone.
Game!
Oregon moves on to face Darkside, while NC State has the chance to take UMass to Universe. Wyatt Kelman, who I awarded Finals MVP at Smoky Mountain Invite, is having an off game. So far, he's thrown 4 turnovers to his 1 assist. He can still turn it around if he and his team can just score 1 more point.
Talking to the O-line, I think nothing changes here. We get a look at Wyatt Kelman. I know there were some questions about his status and what he would be doing. So he is on the field.
Been playing big minutes for this UMass team. Often on their D-line, taking some tough matchups, but here in the must-win, we see a little bit of a junk, but then they're out of it to person.
Kelman needs something.
Great pressure, forces the turn in the reset space. Just some.
Yeah, McSweeney looked like he slipped a little bit too. Coles. Flipping it. Lassard. Catches it, and NC State defeats UMass in pre-quarters. They're headed to the quarterfinals.
quarters, slowcore put a stop to NC State's run. Colorado ended Minnesota's season, and Georgia was in a hole against Brown. The rain was starting to take its toll, and Georgia was feeling the pressure. Brown seemed to adapt well to the rain and appeared to be peaking at the perfect time. Going into the second half, Georgia held, tying the game with an opportunity to take the lead. Cal and Jacques work it up the field, keeping their lead. Then, this happens. Aiden Downey throws a Callahan, giving Brown a 2-break buffer.
You in black.
Jacques secures it the second time, keeping the game within reach. Despite the awful conditions, both teams continue to hold as Cal catches his 7th goal of the match to give Brown a 14-12 lead. Georgia must score 3 straight goals to keep their championship dreams alive.
Game.
Brown wins, sending number 2 Georgia home. Moving on to the last matchup of quarters. Darkside with possession is tied against Oregon. With Adam throwing a perfect shot to Ben Horisberger, Ego takes the lead over Darkside. Rutledge calmly scores, sending it to Universe.
Game.
Oregon wins.
He's done that eating the disc celebration before, and that one's going to taste that much sweeter as they knock off Darkside. Look at the jubilation from Glass.
Really impressive performance from Oregon. Just really back and forth. We were calling it too soon. There's a call on the play.
No way. No way there's a call out here, folks.
Eli fired called a stall, and looking back at the footage, it wasn't even close. Regardless of the call, the game is still live, and the next score wins. UNC move on to the semifinals. In the semifinals, Brown upset Colorado, making them the first 8th seed to ever reach the national finals. This leaves Darkside and Slowcore to fight for the final spot. With the rain pouring, there were going to be a lot of turns and a lot of breaks. UNC took advantage first by scoring back-to-back breaks. After a Cal Poly Holden break, Darkside converted another 2 breaks. Then after Slow breaks one more time, Darkside could break for half. Darkside has created a 4-break lead. No team so far this tournament have come back from such a deficit. Eventually, the score reached 12-8. If Slowcore wanted to have a chance of making a comeback, they must hold here.
Fuck out of here, boy. Get that weak shit out of here.
By Robinson.
I am shook.
Motoring. McKnight slithers it through for Singleton, and the observer rules him in. A drop from Seamus Robinson on one end.
Anyone who has played competitive sports long enough has experienced a moment like this. You replay it in your head over and over again, thinking of 100 different ways you could have done it differently. But there's nothing you can do to change it. The moment is gone. When you make a mistake, you have 2 options. You can let it consume you and be comfortable with the ground, or you can come back and rise from your ashes. After all, there's so much frisbee still left to play.
Fuck out of here, boy. Get that weak shit out of here.
Not in my heart.
With Seamus redeeming himself, Slowcore has tied the game. 2 more scores will decide who will face Brown in the final.
Holy shit.
For number 45, Alex Nelson, those were the only 2 goals he scored all game. Kyle and Calvin combined for 18 turnovers, and Seamus had 3 drops. But it didn't matter, because they won. North Carolina won't make it to the final for the first time since 2017, and a Southwest team is in the final for the first time since Berkeley in 2004. Then there were 2, Brownie in Motion and Slowcore. Brown have made an incredible run so far. After losing to Darkside and Oregon State in pool play, they haven't let a team take a lead since, including a win against the tournament favorite Georgia. Jacques Neeson, Leo Gordon, and Cal Nightingale have all taken massive steps up, leading their team to the finals. These 3 players combined have accounted for almost half of their entire team's goals and more than 73% of their team's assists. It's clear that this team heavily relies on these 3 players to win, and will have to continue doing so if they want to beat Slowcore. Cal Poly have proven throughout the course of the regular season that they're one of the best teams in College Ultimate, and have cemented it with their performance in the championship bracket, handily taking care of NC State and coming back against UNC. This team has a lot of depth, with Calvin and Keaton handling on offense, Kyle Liu hucking on defense, Seamus and Alex dominating the deep space, and Anton filling in the gaps. This could finally be Slowcore's year to bring the championship back to the West Coast. After both teams hold, Gordon commits the first turn of the game. And Anton catches the first break, giving Slow the lead.
You in black.
Slow finally scores, holding on to their lead. Then, on their next possession,
You in black.
Leo gives Brown their first break.
Fuck out of here, boy. Get that weak shit out.
Then, Brown started to roll. With the disc avoiding Calvin and dodging Keaton, Brown have a 3-score lead heading into halftime. With Slow starting on offense in the second half, Seamus comes up big with the score. And then Slow had a chance to take back the game with a break.
You in black.
Leo cashes in on Elliott's hand block to maintain Brown's lead. After a few more holds, Brown gets a chance to extend their lead.
Huh?
And then, the moment arrived. The dagger. The finishing move. A signature play that defines the legacy of a game and what people will remember for years to come.
Guessing you want to see them work. That's a crazy foot block from Leo Gordon, completely canceling the flick huck from Anton Orm.
Leo's foot block gives Brown the disc on the goal line, and Jacques connected with Cal for the score.
Pignoni up the line, and that'll do it. And after a 2.5-year reign atop the men's division, the defending champions have been dethroned.
We've got it. North Carolina, despite being the defending champion, may not be the favorite because Brown is the undefeated team all season long.
We will either have 2 undefeated national champions here at Nationals. Brown is currently 31-0. Dark Side, 42-3. And Jacques, the DC area native, who has really come on as a great handler, but his first throw of the day is knocked down with up the line and into the end zone. It's Tommy Williams to clinch another national championship for North Carolina.
Your partnership with Leo Gordon, one of the hallmarks of this offense, what does it mean to win a championship with him?
It means a whole lot. And it's more than just Leo, especially Cal Nightingale and Elliot Rosenberg. The 4 of us live together, and we've been, thinking about this day for 5 years since we stepped foot on Brown's campus.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of history. We saw the sideline really supporting you, the alumni section.
Yep.
Are you excited to share that with them later today?
Oh yeah, I think in a matter of moments, our alums are going to come down here. We're going to sing our song. That's when it's really going to set in for me, I think.